I drove 12 hours to be here today. And I won the trip. I know the law of attraction works. I really got into watching Abraham on YouTube last fall, morning, night. Just had to do it. Saw life changing from it. And I was looking at the cruises that you offer in February, and I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, wouldn't this be fun? Oh, I would love to do that. And oh my goodness, the Alaskan cruise. Oh, that would be so beautiful. And then I just let it go. And about 2 months later, I got an email from somebody that I don't usually hear from very often. And she had, win a ticket to Abraham Hicks in California. And I was like, oh, awesome. I'll enter it. Who knows, right? And so I entered the contest. I just let it go, forgot about it. Got home from a course that I was taking in healing, and which was about digging deeper and manifesting abundance and things. And when I got home, I got the email saying I won. And I'm like, oh my gosh. and again, it was in California. So I was like, well, I'm in New Brunswick, Canada. So I had no idea how I was going to get to California. So I just said, okay, what can we do? What are my options? Instead of just shutting it down, which is normally what I would have done. And everything just boom, boom, boom. We got the rental car, we got the dog sitter, we got everything. The money came in to come. It just flowed into place. And I'm on a fixed income. So to be able to travel this far and to see you is just, it's amazing. It's just, wow.
We like the enthusiasm that you feel, and we like you coming into awareness that things are always working out for you. Sometimes people will say to us, I have this really big goal, or I have this really big dream. And with that sort of amazement in the bigness of it, they don't realize that they're introducing resistance into the equation. Because what you're wanting to do is to emphasize the ease with which things flow. If you'll listen back to the conversations that we had right before you came forward to have this conversation with us, you'll hear the emphasis that we were placing upon the universe working things out for you. There's an orchestration of cooperative components. Let's stop there for just a little moment, because this is the part that we wish so much for you to hear. This vibrational reality that Esther demonstrates by making this swirl around these invisible components, this vibrational reality, this vortex of creation, these are cooperative components that your inner being, because your inner being focused upon them and all of the subtle details of them, and because your inner being focused upon them with no resistance, and because law of attraction is responding to the consciousness of your inner being and its absence of resistance, the cooperative components are huge and mighty and already gathered. Things are always working out for you. And so while your story was beautiful and delicious, it was a little too amazed. We don't want you to be amazed that things are working out for you. We want you to say, they always work out for me. Why would this be any different? This is who I am. This is how it's supposed to be. Because when you make a big deal out of things that are not a big deal, then you don't let any really big deals in because you're amazed. You see what we're getting at? We want you to put things into perspective here. A little bit of satisfaction goes a long way toward you can be or do or have anything. You can be or do or have anything. And if you could see into your vortex as we can see, you would feel like us, not amazed, just ready. Ready for the next logical step and the next logical step and the next logical step and the next logical step. It's a wonderful thing when you begin to feel the worthiness that allows the good stuff to flow. And when you think about it, do any of you want to eat all of the food that you will eat for the rest of this life today? Or do you like it to come incrementally and satisfy you and fuel you? And so you really don't want everything in that vortex to avalanche in upon you all at the same time. You want it to come incrementally in savorable fashion. in the form that you can most realize it and savor it and enjoy it. You see, it's all there for you. And so
I said like dark chocolate and wine. You savor.
Yes. What do you want to talk to us about? Or were you wanting to just explain to us how well things are going?
I understand.
I'll get it.
The non-resistance that you talk about when people croak. I was amazed to witness that, and I wrote a book.
Amazed again. Amazed.
I know, I got a chance to.
You know what
witness
amazed means? Amazed means I haven't been paying attention and now I am.
Yeah.
That's what amazed means.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I wasn't letting it in, and then all of a sudden I let it in, and who knew? We all knew.
Yeah.
Been trying to tell you. We're glad you're amazed.
Yeah. And I wrote about this in a book that I've just published, and it was with each one of my grandmothers. Both of them had been sick for a long time before they passed, and I had been privileged to have a deathbed moment with each of them. And what amazed, again, the word amazed, I know, but the look in their eye, like they had both been comatose for a certain amount of time. But when I was there and I saw their eyes, even though the mask of death was on their face, their eyes looked excited, like they were so happy. And it was just what? And my grandma, she said, Belmore's waiting for me, and this is happening, and this is happening. And it was just, and all she could say was, I love you all, I love you all, I love you all. That's all she could say. And it's like, I gotta go. Like it was like she couldn't get out of there fast enough. And of course the family was around like, no. And it's like, well, and I was able to see this at the time. I was like, she'd been suffering for a long time. Look at her, she's excited, like just let's celebrate with her.
So can you feel, and we are appreciating this story, but can you feel how you pointed all over the place?
Yeah.
At suffering, at comatose.
Yeah. My lack of focus.
It's all right. It's all right, because you're just explaining something that happened. We're just asking you to be, all of you, to be more deliberate about what you're pointing at. The more people point at those kinds of end-of-life experiences, then the more people set themselves up for experiencing maybe some stuff that they do not want. We really want you to feel the power of your pointer. Feel the power of the things that you talk about. And what you're really bringing out in a strong emphasis, and we're happy that you did, and happy to have the discussion, because it follows up on what we were just talking about. Most people, when they reemerge into non-physical, it is a sort of delightful awareness, because they've pinched themselves off from so much, and in one fell swoop the pinching off stops, and that's what you saw, that's what you sensed, that's what you felt, that's what you interpreted vibrationally there at that moment. We just don't think you should have to croak to feel like that.
And I've been realizing that as I saw that.
Wouldn't you like to, long before your deathbed experience, see the light? Wouldn't you, long before your deathbed experience, wouldn't you like to feel the satisfaction of all that you're about? Wouldn't you like to know your wholeness and your reason for being and your value and your worthiness and that of others? And that's what your grandmother was expressing. I love you all. I love you all. And if she'd had more time, she'd say, and it's the first time for most of you.
Yes.
Sort of surprised her. She wasn't used to loving some of you. Most of you don't practice loving. Most of you practice observing.
There was a lot of religion growing up, so it was so amazing to see it, again, that word amazing again, but to see them let it all go.
Yeah, that's what happens. All that dogma, all that repression of who you are, just
do
lifting
this,
off.
don't do that, do this, don't do that.
Really
it was
good.
just, wow, it was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough?
Will there ever be?